bit apprehensive, and the smell of wintergreen, I think, would knock you over here in Portland Street as they get ready to tackle the 10K course. We've got plenty of personal bests to be beaten today, and at the front, perhaps even a world record.
That could be the target for Zerzane Tadesse. The Eritrean's in the form of his life after becoming world cross-country champion in March. Britain's Mo Farah has had a busy and varied winter, and it's great to see him get his summer campaign off and running here. In the women's race, the steadfast Jo Pavey leads the British Challenge, and she'll renew a keen rivalry on the roads today. That's because Latvia's Jelena Prokopčuka pipped Pavey a fortnight ago in the Great Edinburgh Run. This could be quite a rematch. Further down the field, the gloves are off as well amongst our celebrity runners. Amir Khan's one of the big hitters when it comes to fundraising. And so too is double Olympic champion Dame Kelly Holmes, who for once is turning up to join the massed ranks of the fun runners.
Well, in fact, we've got two dames today because Dame Tanni Grey-Thompson is here alongside Manchester's very own boxing world champion Ricky Hatton. You're the honorary starters today, and a little bird told me that after retiring last week, you were training this week. Is that true?
Well, I had Monday off and then I went training Tuesday, Wednesday, but I only did 6 sessions this week instead of 12, so it was much more reduced.
I can't believe it's your first weekend off and you're at an athletics event once again, Tanni.
It's slightly strange. Actually, I woke up this morning and felt quite nervous and then thought, I'm not racing, so it's great. It's so nice to be here and just enjoy the atmosphere.
I'm sure it is. For once you can relax, and Ricky, you can't relax because this is going to be your last public appearance anyway before the big fight in June. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it is. It's my last appearance, really. I try and do as many different functions like this. Obviously, the Manchester Run is a massive thing. But I'll fly out to Vegas in a couple of weeks, so great to get involved. Nice little workout before we head off there for the main battle. It's defending my world title.
And you were telling me earlier you expect a huge British contingent to follow you out there for this one.
Yeah, I always have a good following, but I was shell-shocked this week when I found out there was actually 10,000 tickets already sold. And apparently it's a record for fans coming from the UK to watch a British fighter abroad, and I was absolutely shell-shocked. So I hope I go over there and do him proud, and I'm sure I will.
Tell us about this fella that you're fighting in the defence of your title.
Jose Luis Castillo. He's a Mexican legend. He appeared in one of the greatest fights of all time against the late, sadly passed away a few weeks ago, Diego Corrales. So, like me, he's one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the world. So it's a really 50-50 fight. Not too many backward steps to be taken, but believe it or not, I am looking forward to it.
I'm sure you are. Now, Ricky, just to make you feel at home, we've got you a nice bell to start things. Oh, he's already into it. Tanni, I think we're going to get you some kind of horn of some description. So, yeah, perfect. All right. Now, just one other thing. Last time we saw this fella, he was on Jonathan Ross. And may I say, you've taken a fair bit of beef off since then. Are we going to see the Ricky Hatton diet book one of these days?
I know, yeah. A lot of people say to me they don't know how I do it because I do sometimes balloon up to near the 13 stone mark, and I'm about 10 stone 8 now. So I've done about 2.5 stoning since I was on the Jonathan Ross show, so looking a lot healthier for it. But a lot of people say if you could bottle it, you'd make a fortune. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Ricky, enjoy it today. Tanni, you looking forward to this?
Absolutely. It'll be great.
Go for it. Well, we'll let you get into position, and whilst we do, we're just going to reflect back on events here yesterday, because Manchester United may have been kept busy at Wembley yesterday, but there was plenty of activity too at the City of Manchester Stadium, and there were medals up for grabs there as well in the junior run. Diane Oxbury, Phil Jones, they joined one of this city's leading ladies.
Welcome to Junior Great Manchester.
On a brisk Manchester morning, everyone's warming up. And at 10 sharp, 1,000 mini runners are off. Age 8 and under, over 1.7k. The competition's fierce. Already a leading boy and girl. Watch Lily McGuinness go. Leading boy is now Michael Quinn. What happened to ladies first? This is a face of determination. He even wants to beat our motorbike camera. Here he is, first past the post. And look, he's not far behind. Well, Lily McGuinness was the first girl across the line. She's 8 years old. She runs for East Cheshire Harriers. What was the best bit about today?
We're first.
Well, Michael Quinn was the first boy. Who do you run for, Michael?
Stockport Harriers.
And this is the first time you've done a mini run.
Yeah.
And you've come first.
Yeah.
And how are you going to celebrate this afternoon?
Buying something.
Well, it's a family affair for the Nevilles today. Every single one of them took part in the race. Phil, tell me why you got involved in the first place.
Well, we're patrons of a charity in Manchester called the New Children's Charity, trying to raise money for a new hospital, a new unit. We're trying to raise £20 million. So today's been a great day. We've had lots of events recently, but this has probably been the highlight so far.
Well, we've seen many celebrities over the years start the race here, but actually to take part in it is something else, and as a family as well. So tell me why you decided to run.
I think our children wanted to get involved. You know, they saw the other kids running. I think we were only planning on running the first probably 100 yards, but Harvey just ran off, and I couldn't catch him, to be honest with you. So it was good fun. I think sometimes you just got to get involved in these kinds of things and show willing that you're not just here just to take part in the glory side of it. You've got to really take part in all of it, and it's been a really enjoyable day.
That's great seeing Julie. You had a few tears at the start from Isabella, but you got her going in the end. Picked her up and off you went.
I think she was a bit overwhelmed by all the cheers that she got, but once we got going she was great, and she did run the whole last lap herself, which was fantastic for us, so a real achievement for her today.
And the Children's Hospital, obviously, something that touches on all our lives, throughout our lives. We have somebody who's affected, you know, often it's ourselves, our kids, so it's dear to your heart especially.
Yeah, it is. Both our children were born at St Mary's, which is where the money's going towards the new Children's Hospital appeal. And Isabella in particular, she spent 8 weeks in intensive care there, so we're indebted to the doctors and nurses that saved her life. So a real landmark day for us today that she started off the race to raise money for the hospital that saved her life. So fantastic day.
And from all accounts, Phil, the fundraising is going spectacularly well. I've already spoken to Amir Khan about it, and lots of people getting involved, and you're going to get that target eventually.
Well, yeah, we need to raise £20 million, and we're halfway there. We've raised, I think, £10.6 million so far, so it's an unbelievable achievement.
Another famous fundraiser is Kirsty Howard. She always gets involved. Leading off the junior girls. As the legs get longer, so does the distance. We're up to 2.2 kilometres. Some of these girls will be our athletic stars of the future, and they're more than happy to show what they're made of. Sarah Barker shows up as leader very early on, but once she broke away, there was no catching her. There can only be one winner, but there are plenty of proud mums. Well, it's a big congratulations to Sarah Barker from Sale Harriers. Did you think you could do it?
Well, I've just come back from illness, so it was a really good achievement and I'm really pleased.
Brian Sheridan sets off in the junior boys, followed closely by the pack. That pack thin out quickly, and the leading white vest is joined by the yellow one of Kyle Fowler, who then overtakes and becomes the leader. Again, it's a day for a clear winner. But they all make it look easy and fun. And a huge congratulations to Kyle Fowler from Staffordshire Moorlands AC. That was a great run. Talk me through it.
Well, I got off to a good start and I made my break in the football stadium.
Now, how was it for you?
We went right up the hill, down the hill, and then we went over there.
You sure did.
So the kids certainly enjoyed it yesterday, and now it's the turn of the adults. 28,000 of them raring to go and tackle this 10k course. That's just over 6 miles. Certainly a lot lighter on the legs than a marathon, obviously, but long enough to provide a serious test. Right, they're ready to get up close and personal with the city of Manchester.
Starting here in the centre of town, they head west and out onto Chester Road for the long run to Old Trafford. By the time they get to Sir Matt Busby Way, they'll be approaching halfway. Then it's out towards the impressive Salford Quays with great views of the Imperial War Museum and the futuristic Lowry Building, before turning for home on the long run back down the dual carriageway. Into the city centre they'll come, with the finish line in Deansgate. And it's a route that Brendan Foster and Steve Cram will know very well by the end of their commentary stint.
But let's welcome the athlete wearing number 51.
Well, we certainly will, Hazel. And of course, the course is familiar to the likes of David Weir, the big favourite to win the wheelchair race. He had a very successful weekend in Manchester just a week ago. The Paralympic World Cup held over 4 days here in the city. David Weir winning 2 events in the athletics on the Saturday. And one person, of course, who's not taking part this year, Dame Tanni Grey-Thompson, as we saw earlier on talking to Hazel, now retired, although of course still very, very fit. And I'm sure with a keen eye on this race, her husband Ian is taking part. Ian was the one watching last week. I'm sure Tanni and a few others might be a little bit disappointed to see only one entrant in the women's race. So where they go, David Weir already prominent and to the fore. Conditions very good. Sun is shining, no wet weather as we've had in 1 or 2 of recent years. So every prospect of some quick times.
And we'll keep you up to date with developments in the wheelchair races. But next to line up, it's the elite women, and we have a very highly regarded field for this one. Phil Jones can fill us in.
On the track, the resilient Jo Pavey is a seasoned and successful athlete. In Melbourne last year, she won the 5,000 metres Commonwealth Games silver medal. But by the end of 2006, Pavey had taken to pounding the streets in pursuit of success. And in the recent Great Edinburgh run was an encouraging second.
Very much looking forward to it. I really enjoyed the Edinburgh race 2 weeks ago. Obviously, Prokopchuk won in Edinburgh, and it'd be interesting to run against her on a flatter course because she was so strong up the hill. I couldn't believe how strong she was up that long hill.
This course is flat, and she has a good opportunity to be very strong. In Edinburgh, it's a difficult course, and maybe she cannot so well run up and downhill. But I know she can run very well on the track, and so she has good opportunity in Manchester.
When I saw the course in Edinburgh and I saw how hilly it was, obviously I thought I'd try my best, but in the past it would have been the sort of course where I have a real nightmare. So to be competitive with someone like Jelena, I was fairly pleased with it. So, that gave me a lot of hope really for this weekend.
This year I have many chances to win, and I like Manchester because there is very good course for set personal best. And 2 years ago I set my Latvian record, and last year I set my personal best. So it's a good opportunity to set my personal best.
It's a very tough field, probably a tougher field than I had in Edinburgh 2 weeks ago, but the course will suit me and the atmosphere is going to be amazing. So yeah, it should be good.
The winner of the last 2 New York City marathons from Latvia, Jelena
Should be good indeed. All looking forward to seeing whether or not Jo Pavey can take on Prokopchuk again. Prokopchuk, who came out on top in Edinburgh, one of the top marathon runners in the world. And of course, Jo Pavey just starting to move up in distance, looking to run 10,000 metres, perhaps on the track this year at the World Championships. And as you heard her say there herself, thinks that this is a better opportunity for her than the Edinburgh course. It's flatter here, a little faster. Grigorieva again, one of the top marathon runners in the world, won Boston just a few weeks ago. The Russian always very, very strong. Surprise package of last year. Natalia Berkut finished in 3rd place with that 31:14 clocking, very fast indeed. Well, just a few weeks ago, Liz Yelling ran a personal best in the London Marathon on a very, very warm day. Conditions not as warm today, in fact, just about perfect for road racing, I would say. So the Bupa Great Manchester Run, women's elite race away. And with the quality of the field we have here, every prospect of a fast race, but I think more importantly one which will set some sort of gauge for Jo Pavey in particular as to how her progress is moving towards competing well over 10,000 metres on the track. Brendan.
Well, I watched Jo Pavey a couple of weeks ago in Edinburgh. She had a really tough race with Jelena Prokopchuka, and she lost a lot of ground on the hills and caught up a lot of ground on the downhills and ran really well on the flat. And I think today it's going to be a very competitive race. I think Jo Pavey is going to be happier on a course like this one today. And Prokopchuka, who's really strong on the hills, is not going to get a chance on the hills today because it's a very, very flat course. It's a good course for fast times. We've seen fast times in the past, and I fully expect to be exactly the same today. A good strong field here. No clear favourite. Jo Pavey, Prokopchuka, Jeptu, Grigorieva, Kalovic, any one of those you would at this point would say had a really good chance. So let's see how the race unfolds, and let's see whether Jo Pavey can be as competitive as she wants to be. She's looking forward to the season. We know her best at 5,000 metres, where she was 5th in the Olympic Games. Already holding a strong position there, and a fall there, that Jeptu, number 4. That's a bit disappointing. She got a bit close to the edge there, and she'll have to just gather herself and take her time and move back to the leaders. The two leaders in the blue vest, number 1, Jelena Prokopchuka, and in the yellow vest, number 2, that's Jo Pavey of Great Britain.
Well, Jeptu, Brendan, just quickly on her feet, and I think perhaps because this early pace doesn't look too fast, she's got herself back to that lead group, just joining the back of that lead group there. Kate Reid also in there, wearing the sunglasses and the long white socks. Had a couple of disappointing performances recently. Mombasa, of course, the World Championships, which put paid to a lot of people's chances, the conditions there. She's in that lead group. But the early pace dictated at the moment by Prokopchuka.
Well, the main field is about to start edging forward to join the elite men in just a few moments. It's terrific to see yet another record entry here in Manchester, and particularly at a time when all of the media headlines are dominated by rising obesity rates and the general health of our nation. A new campaign was launched right here in Manchester a couple of weeks ago, designed to get us all just that little bit fitter.
The Minister for Sport, Richard Cabourn, got on his bike 10 days ago to unveil the Great Activity campaign. Walking, swimming, cycling, dancing. It's a scheme which will help the whole nation get fitter and more healthy, and you'll be able to monitor your progress via the most up-to-date technology.
It is going to start changing the culture of the nation, and really that is very fundamental, because I said many times we've been for now decades taking physical activity out of our daily lives. For the very first time, we've got to start building it back into our daily lives, and this is an initiative that can help us achieve that.
Good luck to you all. The great
100 million miles is the target, and well, what better way to start it with than a host of celebrities. You can see Kelly Holmes in the middle there, Ricky Hatton's there, Tani, Amir Khan joining them. Our two junior winners from yesterday, Tony Ordenshaw also there, and Charlie Waldock, who has lost a substantial amount of weight, completing the first mile between them, an eighth each.
So Kelly and Amir making a hasty dash back to the start line, but there's no pressure on them today. Instead, the real tension is right here at the head of the field amongst the elite men, especially with a world record attempt in the offing. Phil Jones can run the rule over the main contenders.
Mo Farah's the brightest star of British men's distance running. He was crowned European cross-country champion in Italy a little over 5 months ago. This after he'd taken silver on the track in the European Championships in Gothenburg. Now he's looking forward to hitting the roads and the boost of home support.
Oh yeah, it will make a lot different, you know. When I ran at Newcastle, where Great North Run, when I did that mile, it was amazing. The crown made a lot of difference, so I'm really excited about tomorrow.
Mo, it's a high-class field. Who do you see as your main rivals?
Well, there's a lot of guys out there, you know. There's Mika Kogo, who I've lived with him in the same house, the Kenyan guy who's the second fastest ever on the road. So, and also there's Tedessa, the guy who won the World Cross-Country Championship in Kenya, where I was 11th. So I think it ain't going to be easy tomorrow.
The Eritrean athlete Tedessi isn't only king of the cross-country, but also won on the road here in Manchester last year.
They're making lots of noise, delighted to see Tadesse coming home to win.
It's fantastic for me because and the race is good, and I think the weather is good, so it's fantastic for me. I'm very happy for winning.
Tadesse is a really strong guy, and I've watched him in the past. I know he pushes a lot, so I think if the pace is a little bit slow, he will go out there and push. He's not scared of anything. So, and I think Mika Kogo is in great shape. I think them guys will go for it, but at the same time, I'm can mix it in, but I can't do anything silly.
Joining Mo among the UK hopes is Dan Robinson, who's more renowned as a marathon man. He gave up his job in 2001 to concentrate on athletics, and it's a decision that's brought dividends, including a bronze medal in the Commonwealth Games marathon in Melbourne last year.
Please welcome from Eritrea, Zersene Tadesse.
The world cross-country champion, Zersene Tadesse from Eritrea. What a race that was in Mombasa, beating the great Kenenisa Bekele. Certainly one of the favourites here. But you heard Mo Farah said this could be the man to beat here. Mika Kogo, third fastest of all time. Look at that time, 27.07 on the roads. Again in superb form this year. But what about this man, Mo Farah? He's had a fantastic 12 months or so. Continues. Well, he's coming in a second. He's in the background there. That's Patrick McCann Musioki, who's run a couple of really quick times recently. Won the Berlin half marathon, went back there and won the 25k race. I was talking about Mo Farah. Here he is.
And finally,
28.37. That could well be in for some rewriting today. His personal best on the roads. Taking on the best in the world here in Manchester. There's Dan Robinson. Saw him in that introduction there from Phil Jones. Might be a little bit quick for Dan today. So where they go then? The elite runners at the front and the thousands and thousands behind them, moving away from the Oxford Street area, and the leaders sprint away nice and quickly. The others, well, they'll take their time. 3 waves for the mass runners behind these guys at the front. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing Mo Farah. He's just checking his watch there, not sure why. They've only gone about 200 metres, but just making sure perhaps that he started it. And he's right in there, as I said, with the best in the world here. Tadesse, the world cross-country champion. Kogo, well, in fact, the two of them had a great race on the track last year, so the good track speed there as well as their prowess on the roads. And he's getting better all the time, Mo Farah, but this is yet another benchmark for him.
Well, the best of British against some of the best in the world. Britain's Athlete of the Year last year, Mo Farah, for his performances when he finished second in the European Championships over 5,000 metres, a race that many people think if he'd been a little bit more experienced, been a little bit more tactically aware, he might have even won that one. But he then went on later in the year to win the European Cross-Country Championships, and a very good placing in the World Cross-Country Championships too. So Mo Farah is slowly and gradually becoming truly world-class, and today is a good opportunity for him. 2 of the best distance runners in the World Cross-Country Champion in the green vest. Tadesse of Eritrea just behind Mo Farah there, who's in the yellow, in the middle of the pack there, and on the white and yellow strip right next to Mo Farah, that's a friend of his, a very good friend of his, Mika Kogo. They used to share a flat together in Teddington, so he knows all about Mika Kogo. And Kogo, the fastest road runner in the world this year, one of the fastest track runners, over 10,000 metres ever. In fact, last year he had the fastest time in the world over 10,000 metres. We've yet to see him in a major championship, Mika Kogo, but I'm sure we'll see him in the World Championships later this year when we go to Japan for those championships, and him being joined by the World Cross Country Champion, the man that surprised everybody when he beat Bekele of Ethiopia in those difficult conditions in Mombasa. That's the green vest, Tadesse, the white vest on the outside, Kogo, and just behind those two in the yellow vest, that's Mo Farah.
Well, let's just give you some times to measure these athletes against. We said that Kogo has run close to 27 minutes, and certainly on that, well, you couldn't really expect Mo Farah to go that quick. He'll be looking at the 28-minute mark. And with road running over the years, it's become more popular and more regulated, I guess. So it's a little bit difficult sometimes to work out where the records actually are. But for Mo Farah, as we see the first kilometre split there, 2:59. That's pretty quick if that's correct. But Mo Farah will be aiming, first of all, at the quickest official time by a British athlete. That's Mark Scruton, 27:55. That was set in America back in 1984. But that same year, Nick Rose actually ran 27:34. So those are the sort of times he's aiming at.
The men just moving through the 1 kilometre point. The women now at 3 kilometres. And the leader on the near side in the black shorts and the sunglasses, that's Kate Reid of Great Britain. She looked really promising earlier this winter. In her last 2 races she actually dropped out of, and I hope we're going to see a better performance from Kate Reid today. I'm sure she's now back in form, back in shape, and getting ready to run a good race. He's got some British company just behind her in the yellow vest. That's Jo Pavey. Jelena Prokopchuka, number 1. And on the other side, that's Grigorieva, the winner of the recent Boston Marathon. So we've got some class distance runners, some class marathon runners. Kate Reid is a little more inexperienced than these, but she's holding her own at the 3 kilometre point. The time at 3 kilometres, approximately 9 minutes and 37 seconds. So that's pretty strong running from this field, but it's a very crowded field. A little bit surprised to see as many of them together at this point as they are here. We thought they'd spin out a little. We thought the pace would actually drag it out of them, but they're making a real effort here. And there's a good field of numbers. Quality distance running here by these females.
Well, it's good to see Kate Reid there at the front. Grigorieva, the diminutive Russian there, wearing number 3. Prokopchuka in the middle of them. Kalovic with the orange, the taller figure with the orange strip. See Louise Damon just starting to perhaps be the first to fall off the back there. The athlete in the blue and red just disappearing off the back of this lead group. Louise has been in very good form recently. Liz Yelling is still in there. So the British athletes, of course, led by Jo Pavey, but it's good to see so many of them involved in such a good quality race. As they head up towards Old Trafford, if we were able to turn the camera around, they'd be able to see the imposing stands. But the athletes certainly will be getting a pretty good view as they head up that way. No real break so far, though.
I'm just looking at Kate Reid on the far side there, Steve. If you look at her technique looks very, very similar to that of Paula Radcliffe. She reminds me a lot of Paula. And in the men's race, just past the 2 kilometre point, not surprisingly, Tedesser and Kogo head-to-head, just being joined by Musioki, and right next to him in the similar vest, the yellow vest, Great Britain's hope, Mo Farah, and just behind him, the European 10,000 metre champion, and this year, or last year, the European 10,000 metre silver medalist at the European Championships. That's the Spanish athlete Martinez, just tracking Mo Farah as Tedesser for the first time starts to press the pace. You can just see, suddenly he saw the group, he saw it together, and then suddenly he just picks up the pace. And Kogo looks really comfortable behind him.
Yes, you saw those splits, and I think I may have said the first kilometre was a little quick. I actually meant exactly the opposite. It was a fair bit slower than we normally expect, but the pace has certainly picked up since then. Martinez wearing the shades there, just slipping into 4th place. Mo Farah happy to just stay at the back of that leading group. Gele wearing 124, who's, well, he started pretty quick, hasn't in fact won quite a few of the British athletes. It's good to see them having a bit of a go, just a little bit further back down the road and trying to get on the back. Jason Warder saw there, Ian Hudspeth as well in that group. So a few of them just giving it a bit of a go in these early stages, which you've got to do if you want to really get the quick times. Yes, you might end up in no man's land somewhere further in the race, but it's pointless just hang around at the start and then thinking something is going to happen later. So that lead group starting to move away. Tedesser, Kogo, Mo Farah just tucked right over on the inside there. Patrick McCann, Musioki in there. What a race by Tedesser, that World Cross Country Championships. It was such a shock, but it wasn't just that Bekele, for whatever reason, was suffering from the conditions. It was because he was under real pressure from a man who's had a very, very good last couple of seasons. That's Serrano of Spain, 106, trying to hang on to that lead group, and even Mo Farah looks as though he's just stretching a little bit to stay with this early pace.
This third kilometre is really quick now. You can sense they're beginning to spin out. I can just see Ian Hudspeth and Jason Ward leading the chasing group, and they've realised there's an opportunity here for them to run a fast time, and they're going to use the opportunity they've been given. It's good to see that as the two Africans, the Eritrean and the Kenyan, lead from Martinez. Patrick Musiogi in third place, and Mo Farah now. Decision time for Mo Farah. Is he going to try and go with the lead? As you listen to him talking about, now there's his choice. Do you go or do you let them go?
Old Trafford, well, I guess not the happiest of places today after a cup final yesterday, after getting beaten by Chelsea. But Kate Reid is really striding away. This is really good to see. It's a very, very positive running from Kate Reid. She's had to drop out of the 10k race on the track in Portugal. Sorry, it was in Italy back in April. Dropped out of the World Cross Country Championships, but a good performance so far, and she's not afraid to run at the front despite all the big names around her.
Well, there's the cricket match going on today between Lancashire and Yorkshire, and you pan away from that fabulous Old Trafford cricket ground to see a real cathedral of sport, of Old Trafford football ground known all around the world. I remember 2 years ago when Gebre Selassie ran here, he almost stumbled as he came across Old Trafford. It was a place he'd heard a lot about because they watched football, Premiership football, but Manchester United in particular, all around the world. They probably were disappointed yesterday, like a lot of Northerners were, but Chelsea prevailed.
They certainly did, and who will prevail here in this men's elite race? Kogo just moving to the front for the first time, has a little look over his shoulder, wonders why Tedesco doesn't want to keep the pace going. I think it's pretty quick, that's why. Martinez right there, Silva of Portugal as well, wearing 109, and Mo Farah working to stay with this group now that some of the top men in the world here, cross-country and road racing, right in front of him. And I said at the beginning, this race will be a real test for him as to how things are progressing. And so far, so good. He's just got to try and sit there, keep working hard. They'll keep pushing at the front, and hopefully one or two others might drop off this group here. But Mo Farah performing very well at this point, with Kogo looking very comfortable. Tedesco, he's not the easiest of looking runners, Tedesco. He always looks as though he's working hard.
That's right, but he's quick though, he really is. He looks a little bit ungainly at times, and the pace just gathering and gathering, picking up momentum all the time. And Mo Farah, this is the bit of the race I think he's nervous about. He told me beforehand that he was going to watch the two leading athletes and then just make his decision about whether he can go with them. And there, look, the decision's almost been made for him. As they accelerate there into the Old Trafford area, they run 3/4 of the way around the Old Trafford Stadium, which is a nice little feature on this course. And suddenly, at that point, Mika Kogo injects the pace. Joe Pavey leading, or close to the lead, sorry, in the women's race. Just in 4th place there. Kalovic leads. Jeptu in 2nd place. Prokop Chuka in 3rd. And Joe Pavey just on the back of them. So similar position in the men's race.
Well, this is the first big break, isn't it, Bren? This is the first real effort by one of the big names to pull away, and it's Kalovic. I thought Prokop Chuka might have been the one to try and make the break, but no. Kalovic putting her foot down. The Hungarian, who races, well, probably as much as anybody on the road. She was in that race in Edinburgh, finished 3rd behind Prokop Chuka and Joe Pavey. Joe working hard to stay with this breakaway. Kate Reid a little bit further distant now, leading the chasers about 15 metres behind them. But this a real strong push by Kalovic. This is an effort to not only break up the group, but to try and run away from the others. Jeptu just tucked in behind her after that early fall. Certainly hasn't seemed to suffer from that. Prokop Chuka and then Joe Pavey. Now Joe's got to work hard here. She's got to stick with them. She can't let Kalovic move away at this point. She said she was coming here with a lot of confidence. There's Old Trafford there. A really important part of the race there for Jo Pavey. Must stick in.
And here's the men now coming away from Old Trafford Stadium, almost at the 5 kilometre point. Mika Kogo, number 102 of Kenya, leads from the World Cross Country champion, number 101, Zersane Tedessa. In third place, 103, Patrick Macau, Musioki. And you can just see, leading the chasing group is the European silver medalist, Mo Farah. Just behind him, the European 10,000 metre silver medalist from last year, Martinez of Spain. And that second group are now losing ground as you see the pace being poured on by Mika Kogo, a very strong man. This is the man that I think will challenge Bekele of Ethiopia in the World Championships if he stays in good shape between now and then, as long as he doesn't run too many races. Behind him, just sheltering behind him, Tedessa, but we expect Tedessa to close on him and even make a surge. There they are through the 5 kilometre point, 13 minutes and 49 seconds, and that's pretty quick. They're going to run a good time off the back of that. 27 minutes 30 or thereabouts would be possible, but nowadays these distance races, they actually run faster in the second part. And if this runs faster in the second part, we're going to see an outstanding time as Kogo weaves from one side to the other, and Zersane Tedessa's having none of it. He's tracking him, he's sheltering behind him, and he's not giving him any opportunity to sense how he's going too. That's good tactical running by Zersane Tedessa.
Mo Farah was through that 5 kilometre point well under 14 minutes, so his challenge to try and at least break 28 minutes is on schedule at the moment. But the danger, of course, is once those gaps have come, it's much more difficult to, first of all, stay in contact and work off the other athletes, but to keep your own concentration. But with the women, Kalovic has made that big effort, but I just get the feeling there that the big effort she put in is now finished. She's still at the front, but it looks as though that gap between the four of them is slightly foreshortened. Jo Pavey just sitting at the back of that group there, Jeptu, Prokopchuka and Kalovic. You always know someone's working hard, Bren, when they come off the road and they're on the path. They're taking absolutely the shortest route possible.
And they go as tight as they possibly can to the edge. Look at that, she's almost running in the bushes.
Except Jo walked round the puddle, which is what I would do. Well, you can't fault Kalovic's application here. She really is trying to win this one. No question of waiting for Prokopchuka or Jo Pavey to push the pace on. The Hungarian taking it to them, and at this point just asking one or two questions there, which so far the others are being able to respond to through 7 kilometres. 22:20, 3 minutes 6. That's the fastest kilometre so far.
Well, Kalovic leading the fastest kilometre, and Jo Pavey coming under a bit of pressure there in 4th place. As too is Prokopchuka, but that's a little gap between Jo Pavey and Prokopchuka. Now Jo's really got to dig in. 3 kilometres remaining. Kalovic working hard, trying to put some distance between her and the chasing group. She's having a little bit of success, and Jo Pavey is working so hard there to get on the back of Prokopchuka. She really needs to just stay close in attention. There's a few yards too many there. And the men, once again, they're competitive. Kogo stretching, Tedessa following him.
Well, just the two of them now through 6 kilometres, and Patrick Macau Musioki is off the back there. 16:34 just coming up there is the time. Well, it's been sustained pace rather than one particularly fast kilometre. These last 3-4k, it's been just building, and the damage has been done to the others. Mo Farah well in the distance now, and this is a real sustained effort by Kogo. He's not bothered the fact that Tedessa is right behind him. He knows that the only thing he can do is keep pushing from the front and hope that he'll break the world cross-country champion at some point.
And there we look over Salford Quays, and if you look at that little gap there in the middle behind the bridge, that's the new site of the BBC headquarters for sport and children's programmes, Radio 5. So it'll all be coming from Manchester in a few years' time. And today we're getting a pretty good show on the roads of Manchester too. Mika Kogo of Kenya, I'm looking forward to seeing him running in the summer. Behind him, Tadesse, the world 20-kilometre champion, the world cross-country champion, one of the fastest 10,000 metre runners ever. But really being tested now. In third place, Musioki, you can just see, and behind Musioki in fourth place in the yellow vest, we can see Mo Farah hanging on there and running closely with Martinez of Spain. But Kogo really stretching them.
Your eyes are good, Brent. Mo Farah, though, is closing down on Makao Musioki behind. But Tadesse, well, he won the Bupa Great Manchester Run last year. But will he do it this time round? Kogo pushing. Just that little yard there. He mustn't let that get any further. He's got to just fix his eyes on the back of Kogo and hang on to him and see whether he can outkick him at the end. Well, up at the finish line, this is David Weir. This is not unexpected. He's been in superb form, as we saw in Manchester last weekend at the Paralympic World Cup, and he's getting a huge cheer as he comes into the last 100 metres or so. The time's going to be pretty quick as well. It was 21:16 last year. He's going to be inside that. David Weir victorious once again.
Joe Pavey really has made a move now. Kalovic of Hungary has been testing him for the last 3 kilometres. Joe Pavey was detached for a little period there. 25:34, 3:14 for that last kilometre, and Joe Pavey really stuck to her task there. That was impressive. She was beginning to drift off, beginning to have a problem, but now she's got world-class athletes around her, and once again Joe just needs to concentrate, needs to dig deep. Prokopchuka struggling in 4th place.
Well, here's a development that 1 yard has turned into, what, 10 at least. Kogo has broken his man, although he's running very wide on that bend there. He's following the lead vehicle. Tadesse following the curb, taking the shorter route, but I'm not sure it's making much difference because Kogo really turning it on here, pulling away from the world cross-country champion. And I guess perhaps you might expect it if you'd looked at the form book, certainly in terms of times before this, then this might have been the result that you'd expect. But Tadesse is such a renowned fighter that Kogo knew, well, he's going to have to be on his best form today, and so far he's proving that. Brendan was saying, I think it'd be really, really interesting to watch this man in the summer. The two of them had a fantastic tussle on the track, Brussels last year. Kogo with the fastest time in the world. Continued that all through the winter, some very, very good performances. And if he judges it right this year, I'm not sure how he'll fancy the conditions in Osaka over 25 laps, but he's certainly in the sort of shape to run very, very well indeed.
And now a really competitive end of the women's race. Kalovic looks over her shoulder. She'll be disappointed. She sees 3 women with her. She sees Joe Pavey right next to her. And these athletes know that when it comes to a shorter distance, Joe's competitive on the last 400 metres of a track race, of a 5,000 metre race too. So they know that they're more marathon runners, more long distance runners. The crowd's on the way out, the runners are going on the way out, and these women athletes on the way back and approaching the finish. Prokopchuka looks to be beaten to me. She's working hard at all points. She can't get any closer. And now it's a case of Joe Pavey. She's got to judge this one properly. Joe hitting the front for the first time. She's gone through a bad patch. That's behind her. She senses the finish is in sight, but she needs to stay to it now. She's got Jeptu, Kalovic, Prokopchuka. Can she do it?
Well, Kogo perhaps not still pulling away. That gap certainly has been sustained through 8 kilometres, 2k to go, and if he hasn't judged this right, then Tadesse certainly is strong enough to keep hauling it back. That's been a pretty quick kilometre there, 2 minutes and 39 seconds, 21:57 through 8k, and that's as quick as we've seen so far. That's why Tadesse has struggled to hang on to the Kenyan, but the gap not increasing anymore. Kogo, he hasn't had a look round yet. Often when people get into that position, they have a little look behind, but not him.
And Joe really making an effort now. She's trying to win this one, working hard. pushing hard. But still, the two athletes, Jeptoo and Kalovic, stay in contention. 800 metres remaining. Jo Pavey knows she's got such a lot of experience on the track. She's got less experience about competitive international road racing, but this is her chance. There's a few yards there. Kalovic is working for it. You know she's not going to give up on it. But Jo Pavey looks to be clear of Prokopchuka, who beat her in Edinburgh, is not going to feature in this race. Now Jo Pavey, less than 800 metres to go, glances over her shoulder. She sees Jeptoo of Kenya. She sees Kalovic of Hungary. She's getting great support from the crowd here. You can hear the crowd responding to Jo Pavey as the announcers tell us and tell the crowds on the roadside that she's approaching very, very quickly. She's got a few yards. She really just needs to try and hold it together, but she's coming under pressure. Her head's beginning to bob. She's beginning to struggle. You can see how hard she's worked. She went through a bad patch, and it was impressive that she went through that bad patch, recovered, and now has put herself. She's got a winning chance now. Can she hang on? Can she just muster one more effort before the finish? It would be a great victory for Jo Pavey to win this one. It would then give her the opportunity to question what she does in the future over this distance. But this would be a very strong psychological victory for Jo Pavey. 400 metres to go. She knows what that's like on the track. She doesn't know what it's like being competitive with 400 metres to go on the road, but she really is giving it everything.
Well, she's put a lot of work into getting that gap. She wouldn't want to lose it now. She looks as though she's really gritting her teeth, and the knees maybe not coming up quite as much as they were a minute or so ago. It was a big effort to get away. Now Kalovic behind has gone past Jeptoo, and Kalovic perhaps sensing that Jo has got not much more to give. The kicks, well, it's been gone, hasn't it? And now Jo Pavey's just got to strengthen this out. Kalovic digging deep. It's a slight uphill finish here, 200 metres to go. Normally that would be enough for Jo Pavey. She's having to work really hard here. And the Hungarian, who did lead early on, is taking the shorter route around this curve towards the finish line. Has Jo Pavey just got enough here? A 15-metre lead, Kalovic trying to close it down, but it looks as though Jo Pavey will have enough. The crowd really getting behind the British athlete. This is a wonderful performance from Jo Pavey, turning the tables on Prokopchuka, Jeptoo and Kalovic. Jo Pavey comes home to win the Great Manchester Run. Well done to her. It was hard work. Kalovic in second, Jeptoo in third, and Prokopchuka will take the fourth place. A quick time, it'll be a personal best for Jo Pavey into the bargain. And Kate Reid coming through. That's a very good run from Kate Reid. Led in the early stages, a big personal best for her. Very, very good performance indeed. That's Aguirre coming through.
Well, Mika Kogo stretching, running strongly, running comfortably. And this is the man I think is going to shake up the world this summer. Let's see what he does in the World Championships. But for today, he's got a winning lead over the World Cross Country Champion. And the only man we've seen beat the World Cross Country Champion in recent times on serious races has been Kenenisa Bekele from Ethiopia. But look at Tedessa, isn't giving up on this one. He's racing hard, he's been tested. He wasn't able to go with Kogo. These two athletes share a similar time over 10,000 metres, 26:35 and 26:37 on the track. It's going to be that close today on the road, and Tedessa's coming back strongly. Kogo has worked so hard, he's got a winning lead. Is he going to be able to hang on to it? He looks as though he's smiling, but he's certainly not. He's certainly under pressure. And there's Tedessa coming. He's left it a bit late, but here he comes. Tedessa now beginning to challenge Kogo, and this is closing down so quickly.
Well, again, Kogo knows he's got a lead, probably just about enough. Not sure that Tedessa can run him down in what's left here. Just a couple of 100 metres or so left to go. Kogo, but look at Tedessa, he's catching all the time now. Kogo, is he aware of it? Has he had a look behind? He can see the finish line just about from there when they come under the railway bridge. Just about 150 metres to go. He should be just about okay. Tedessa trying as hard as he can. The World Cross Country Champion not giving it up easily. But it's going to be Mika Kogo of Kenya. He wins the Great Manchester 10K. A pretty quick time, 21:22 or thereabouts. Tedessa pushed him all the way, wouldn't give it up. He takes second. Now who's going to get the third spot? Mo Farah alongside Martinez, the former European 10,000 metre champion. Farah looks a little bit tired there. Has he got a sprint? Martinez, despite his advancing years, was always pretty quick in the latter stages on the track. You don't win gold medals without being quick. Mo knows that. Can he find something here? This would be a good performance to finish in the top 3. There he goes. Mo Farah puts his head down, picks those knees up, uses the bit of pace that he knows he has. Sprinting for the line. He's going to defeat Martinez. It's going to be 3rd place for Mo Farah. Martinez will take 4th. The time for Mo just outside 28 minutes. He'll be a little disappointed with that, to be honest, but a good position to finish 3rd. So Kogo wins it 27-21 with Tadessa 3 seconds behind him. Mo Farah with his quickest time so far, 28.07. Jo Pavey, what a victory for her. It was only 1 second in the end, but will give her so much confidence leading into the summer and a possible debut over 10,000 on the track at the World Championships. Kalovic took 2nd and Jet2 3rd. Kane Reid a good performance in 5th. Well, David Weir was an emphatic victor in the men's wheelchair. 21 minutes and 11 seconds, 5 seconds quicker than last year.
Jo, your first time running the Great Manchester Run, and you're a winner. Satisfying performance that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was really pleased. The crowd were great and they really cheered me on as I ran around, so I really enjoyed it, and it was lovely to win such a big event, so yeah, I'm excited.
Tell us about the way the race developed, because at one point there was 4 of you, and then about 1k out you decided to go for it.
Yeah, there was a big crowd with us to start with, because it was quite slow to start with and everyone was bunched up, and then Aniko put the boot in at 5k to go, and I thought I'll try and hang on and hope that I can use a bit of track speed at the end, and with about a k to go I put in more effort, and 400 to go I put in a sprint, so 200 to go my legs started to really die, and I thought I've got to hold on, so just about made it.
How aware were you of who was over the shoulder?
I thought I won't look back. I know maybe I should have been aware, but I thought I don't want to look back and regret it, so I kept pushing on and just about got there, so I'm pleased.
Congratulations, and tell us about the plans from here on in.
Yeah, home start with track races now, so running Glasgow on June the 3rd, looking forward to that, and I think these events are fantastic preparation for me. You toughen me up a bit, get the endurance going, but really excited about today, really enjoyed it.
Well, ultimately it could be marathons for you, but this summer what will you target, Jo?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still quite keen to do the 10k in Osaka. I'll definitely do the 5k, so I've got to do the qualifying time for the 10k as well, but you know, eventually I'd love to do a marathon, but at this stage I'm gaining experience over 10k, got a lot to learn, and I think these sort of races are great stepping stones for me at the moment.
Well, it sounds like you've been really buoyed up by this experience, especially with a crowd cheering your name.
Yeah, because the race doubles back on itself, so I was really lucky because the competitors on the other side started to cheer me on, and that really gave me a boost and really, really helped me.
Well done, Jo, and good luck for the rest of the summer. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Hazel. Cheers.
David, very many congratulations. A 3rd victory in the Great Manchester Run. You love this place.
Yeah, Manchester's my second home at the moment. I was here last week racing at the Paralympic World Cup and then racing in the 10k today. Yeah, it's a pretty good race, pretty fast.
Yeah. Tell us about the way it developed in the end.
Well, it was fast going out, and there was slight crosswind coming out there, but I felt like I wasn't warmed up properly. And then when you turn back on yourself, I felt a bit warmer, so I did up the pace a little bit more. So it felt pretty quick, but I think I should have been a bit quicker, really, in myself.
Well, you do set yourself some extremely high standards, I have to say. What are the plans going forward now, especially with the Paralympics on the horizon next year?
Me and my coach are not decided on what distances I'm going to do next year. I'm definitely doing a 400 because I love the 400. I think that's my best event to win at Beijing. But this year I'm doing a variation of distances up to marathon, just to see if I can cope with doing the different sorts of training and stuff like that, and then I'll see what happens for Beijing.
Well, you certainly love the road racing. London and now Manchester. Very many congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.
Mika, how much satisfaction do you take in a UK all-comers record? You've beaten Haile Gebrselassie record today.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's a fabulous, fantastic time for me to break the Haile Gebrselassie course record in UK countries, and I'm very happy in this to win the game.
You were getting close to the world record. It was a target for you today. What happened with the pace, and did you feel that you could get close to the world record?
Yes, but I could go close to world record, but because of the strong guys, strong teammates, I when I was in front line, I thinking about the Park's teammate so that the best could slow a little bit.
Now, you're only 21 years of age, is that right?
Yeah.
Just a very young man.
Yeah, that's right.
What are your plans for the World Championships particularly? What would you like to do there, Mika?
Yeah. For me now, it's good to put more training, put more hard training, so that to focus on the World Championship that is on 10,000 kilometers, which is for me is good because I did in Brussels last year.
So 10,000 metres, you're the main man for that. We'll look forward to seeing you performing there. Very well done.
Yeah, thank you very much. And for me today, I'm very happy because I ran through Manchester City because I am fan for Manchester.
You enjoyed the city, did you?
Yeah, I did very much indeed.
And what about the support that you had from everyone else?
Yeah, very, all of the crowd is very happy indeed to be in Manchester City.
Mo Farah, what do you think of a very big personal best today?
It was good, I was pleased, but at the same time, it would have been nice to go under 28 minutes.
But at the same time, how much have you lopped off your PB this time?
Last time was almost 30 seconds, so it was good, actually, just over 30 seconds, so yeah.
You've got to be happy with that, surely.
I am happy, the crowd made a lot different, coming down the home straight, shouting my name, and it was good, it made a lot different.
I know it was your intention to try and go with the African runners. How did it eventually work out?
I went with them, and then Satu just went off after 5k. So it was good because we weren't running that fast for the first 2k, and then after that they just broke down. But it was good. It's good to mix in with these guys. You have to learn from them.
Have you felt the benefit, Mo, of all of the endurance training that you did up to the World Cross Country Championships? Because you put a pile of work in over the winter for that, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. I put a lot of hard work into it and then went on a nice break. So I had 2 weeks break. So and I come back to it, and then I've been sort of in South Africa for 3 weeks. Coach Mark Rowland and the group of us. So things went well, and I'm quite looking forward to the summer.
And how optimistic do you feel about that as you look towards Osaka now?
It's good, the World Championship is late on, so I've got to just stay injury-free, keep focusing and do one race at a time. The next race is the Glasgow, quite looking forward to it, 1,500 metres, so pretty good.
OK, we'll look forward to seeing you because we'll have that one live and we'll be watching your every move as usual.
Cheers, thank you. Okay.
For the vast majority of the 28,000 runners taking part today, it's not about winning the title or the prize money. In fact, it's about raising money or setting a personal best or indeed just getting around the course. So it must be something of a relief, very strange in fact, for one particular athlete not to be lining up as one of the favourites today. We've already seen Dame Kelly Holmes in the Great Activity campaign, but she's been warming up for the real race today, tuning up, you might say, a little differently to everyone else.
I'm at the Bridgewater Hall, home of the famous Hallé Orchestra, where Dame Kelly agreed to put some musicians through their paces as long as they return the favour.
Okay. So take a deep breath.
What am I doing here?
That's it.
Well, did you ever think you'd have a go at that?
This is definitely not my forte. This would take years and years of practice, like it did as an athlete, I'm sure.
You got there in the end, though.
Got there in the end, yeah. My lips are buzzing like that now. That's good. It's
and
great.
These guys make it look so easy, don't they?
Oh, exactly. It's just absolutely amazing. And again, you just don't, it's a different world and, completely different thing that I've ever done. So you kind of respect the guys and ladies that are kind of doing this kind of work. It's brilliant.
But you've been putting them through their paces as well. They're entering your world now.
Exactly. I'm very comfortable in my own world, of course, and they've done great, and I'm sure they're looking forward to running.
So what are you going to be hoping for yourself in the race tomorrow? You're going to be cheered all along the route, of course. So you're going to be running with these guys?
I'm sure I'll be running with some of the Hallé Orchestra guys, of course. And I want to get involved with the mass crowd, really, because I haven't run at all in Great Britain since I retired, and I'm certainly not racing, that is for sure.
You'll make that very clear.
Making it very clear. I always have exactly the same injury problems that I've ever had, so I'm just hoping to kind of get that buzz from the crowd, and hopefully it will motivate me to kind of get back into a bit more fitness, which I don't do at the moment.
We're all running for the same thing, the Charles Halley Foundation, which basically funds our education and outreach work. Throughout the year we take the orchestra all over the region to schools and people who wouldn't normally necessarily come here to hear the orchestra.
It's a way to spread the word and spread the word of what we do, and what these guys and girls do a really great job for the education and outreach programme. It's fantastic, it really is.
It was a great thrill meeting a double Olympic champion. Particularly me, I'm not a hard and fast runner, so being told, you know, to take care of the muscle groups before you run was great, and she really put us through our paces.
Well, it seems that everyone's in perfect harmony here in Manchester this weekend. We've seen Kelly Holmes limbering up with the Halley Orchestra, and now we've got a man in rather fine voice from the City of Manchester Opera. His name is Glyn Taylor. Glyn, let me interrupt you.
Sorry,
you're in fine voice indeed. Are you in fine fettle for the run, though? That's a big question.
Well, I'm hoping so. I should finish it before dark, I think.
That's a good aim to have, at least.
That's about all I can manage, I think. But I'm hoping for the best.
So how does an opera singer get involved in the Great Manchester Run? Tell me.
Well, I'm a member of City of Manchester Opera, and we do a little bit of a vocal warm-up, and we also do a physical one, but nothing quite like this. But I'm hoping to run well for Yorkshire Cancer, and hopefully the opera company will be laughing their heads off when they see this. Qual più il mal vento muta d'accento e di pensiero sempre.
The fine-tuning's over. Now all of Manchester's their stage.
Lucy Broughton has a big anniversary today. Is she celebrating with a meal with family and friends? Nope, in her words, she is dragging herself round a 10k road race in aid of breakthrough breast cancer. In 2002, aged just 32, Lucy was diagnosed with a particularly aggressive form of breast cancer. As a mum to a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and with just a 15% chance of surviving to 5 years, the diagnosis was devastating. Today, she is 5 years clear. She's beaten the odds. Happy anniversary, Lucy. Nigel Davis is a shadow of his former self. At the beginning of last year, he weighed 22 stone and did little but drink beer and eat junk food. Something had to give. It all did. And it's not rocket science. He joined the gym and started to eat well. Slowly, he began to change. Today, he's a massive 6 stone lighter, and now he can see his feet, he can touch his toes. He's running in memory of Rhodri Davis, who died of neuroblastoma in 2003. Good luck, Nigel.
Well, David has just told me that this is a great excuse for not having to carry on running all the way round, and in the sun, that's probably a good thing.
Yes, it's a lovely way to see the city without the cars and everything. But we started at the front, and all these runners just go, boom! It's like been an avalanche of people ever since, so it's great to let them all go over there.
You're doing okay. Your timing's been very good so far.
Still breathing, everything's working.
That's all good, and you're raising money for MenCap.
Yeah, that's right, close to my heart. And can I say hello to Jimmy James and Marianne at Northfield and all the people I know at MenCap. It's great people.
Well, we're not going to miss you lot out there today, these bright yellow outfits, and you're running for?
Spring Hospice at Rochdale. Wonderful. Yeah.
Now,
oldest competitor in the race.
I thought that, because I'd seen some publicity already ahead of the race. And do you mind me asking, it's a very rude question, but how old you are?
89 and a half. I'll be 90 this year.
Well, congratulations on that. And you're going to put us all to shame, because at that age, running the 10k...
Yeah. This is my 5th year.
Your 5th year?
Yes.
Well, congratulations on that as well. And how much money are you hoping to raise?
A lot.
Well, we're hoping to raise quite a few. A couple of grand, to say. Yes, hopefully.
And are you looking for any particular target today to get round in a certain time? Is it just going to be a gentle stroll?
A good time, but this year, so long as we finish.
Well, listen, it's a fantastic achievement. Congratulations to you and all of you in raising that money.
Now, everyone who crosses the finishing line here in Deansgate will be presented with one of these. We've got a lot of celebrity runners in the field today, but one of them, boxer Amir Khan, will be adding this to his extremely distinguished collection, which of course already includes an Olympic silver medal in boxing. But when he puts this one on, I think he'll get a particularly different kind of satisfaction from it.
After 180 years of existence, the Royal Manchester Children's Hospital here in Swinton is about to be replaced in 2009 by a new state-of-the-art facility in central Manchester. There's a £20 million appeal to help make the new hospital the best in the world. And that's where another potential world beater, Amir Khan, enters the picture.
How's it going, mate? You alright? You good? You alright? How's it going, mate? Everything alright though, yeah? Feeling better?
No, Sean, you know these three here, that's Amir, Nabil and Saj, are all going to run the Great Manchester Run.
Raise
10
some money.
kilometres.
Yes.
So if you fancy joining them...
If you want to join us...
Can my mum take a picture of you?
Yeah, do you want to take a picture with me, yeah?
And tell me some of the reactions you've been getting when they've seen you today.
It's good, yeah. I speak to a couple of kids and they're just so happy to see me, you know what I mean? One little lad said, oh, I can't believe I'm meeting you in real life. I don't think I'll ever get the chance. It makes them smile, you know what I mean? There's a lot of kids on the bed, they're quite upset, quite sad. But as soon as they see me and a little chat with them, it puts a smile on their face and it puts a smile on my face as well. Ooh, what's it called? Kobe. When the new hospital is going to be built, it's going to be even better. No, just need a bit more.
This is going to be the biggest children's hospital in England. It brings together the Booth Hall Hospital and the Pendlebury Hospital at the brand new Children's Hospital in Manchester. This will open in September 2009 and it will be the best, and we're going to make it the best.
She's gone quiet, haven't you?
She was shy.
The target's £20 million and the 10k run is a significant contribution to that.
Are you going to say anything, Madison?
Madison, how old are you?
4.
Are you 4?
Just gone 4, haven't you, April?
Right.
How much running do you do in training for boxing?
I do a lot, yeah. Maybe 3 times a week I go for like a 4-mile run, and I do a lot of sprints on the weekend. So a lot of running is, you have to do a lot of running in boxing. You use another colour? Use a red one.
Some red.
Use red? Good stuff. When I found out it was for the Pendlebury Hospital, I said I want to do it because I was a patient here when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I was a couple of weeks old when I was ill, I had a chest infection. So when I knew it was for this hospital, it gave me that extra push. She alright, yeah?
She's doing alright at the minute.
So how long has she been in for?
She's been in since she's been born. She's never been home for 4 weeks. So she's got 2 kidneys that don't work.
Oh.
Have you run a race then in public in the Northwest before?
Yeah, I did the Wilmslow half marathon. I did that 3 times. But yeah, this is the first one in Manchester. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a massive crowd. So when someone's shouting my name, saying, "Come on, Amir," and they're clapping and cheering for me, it's going to just give me that extra push. It's going to make me go faster. So when I know I'm getting tired and people shouting for me, it's going to make me try a bit harder. It's like a boxing fight. When you have people shouting for you and you're tired, as soon as you hear them cheering you on and stuff, it makes you go out there and throw more punches. So I think this will make me run faster. She'll be alright, you know what I mean? She'll be good.
There's a bit of a smile almost there.
Yeah, she's alright now.
You're usually quite smiley, aren't you?
It's always a smile.
I'm going to go for a good time. I'm going to put 100% in it. And so hopefully I'll do it again next year and I can beat that time. All this week I've had people coming up to me and saying to me, look, good luck for the 10k run and hope you do well in it, hope you get a good time, and just gives me that confidence, you know what I mean? I know there's people out there who are happy for me and I'm sure next year they can take part in it as well. One for you as well, yeah, is that alright? Put them on the side for you, okay? No problem.
Amir's created yet more memories for this historic building. But time doesn't stand still, so the money he raises from the Great Manchester Run is all about the future.
This is very good news indeed. £27,450 is about to go to the new Children's Hospital Fund here in Manchester. We have Amir Khan, Nabil Chowdhury and the man who's taken the cheque, David Kane. First of all, Amir, a personal best on the way around. How much did you enjoy it today?
It was wicked, you know what I mean? I had Kelly Holmes who was pushing me all the way, and it come to a part like the last mile, the last 2k. I was so tired that I couldn't keep up with her, but she was saying to me, "Come on, Amir, push it." She was pushing me along, but I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? The crowd here were brilliant. The atmosphere was great. But you know what I mean, they pushed me along and it was wicked. I'm going to hopefully keep doing this, you know what I mean? It's the first of many this.
Well, the 28,000 runners making this the biggest ever Manchester run. And one of the old stalwarts, Kate Thomas, dressed as a fairy, running with her friend Tim Jones, dressed as a flower, and the 9 mascots, Ronnie Rhino, Sharky and others, running for the Red Cross appeal.
Well, this event has just got bigger and better every single year. And with 28,000 this year, I'm sure they'll be trying to squeeze a few more in next time round. And Manchester itself keeps changing. The course has changed a little bit this year, but the Great Manchester Run has lived up to its top billing once again.
For the first time in this event, the runners will cross the finish line in the shadow of the newly completed Beetham Tower, which opened last year. Now, at 48 stories high, climbing up it would be a great workout in itself, although our intrepid reporter Phil Jones has chickened out and taken the lift.
Thanks, Hazel. I've had a vertical journey up some 160 metres in a building that totally dominates the Manchester skyline. Manchester's a city that specialises in combining the old with the new, and special certainly defines the Beetham Tower. Construction started in 2004 and was completed last year. The structure boasts thousands of panes of glass, 48 floors and a gravity-defying overhang. And I'll tell you what, the view ain't half bad. I'm here with the architect of this grandest of grand designs, Ian Simpson.
Hi.
Who's going to have the pleasure of living in this amazing space.
Well, I hope so. It's a few more months off before we complete it. Probably about another 6 months to go yet.
It'll be Manchester's most expensive des res, with over 12,000 square feet and a price tag of over £8 million. It's the highest place to live in Western Europe.
The trees were all craned in before we put the roof on, actually. So they've been here maybe almost 12 months now. And this is the garden space. This is where the olive grove will be, the reflecting pool and so on. So it's a little bit of outdoors at the top of a tower.
If you were going to be relaxing here in the garden space, what would you be picking out?
Well, the nice thing about this side of the building, which is all south facing, so you get the sun in here, you're looking down through the countryside of Cheshire, you've got the airport and the aeroplanes flying in, Jodrell Bank in the distance, the Derbyshire Hills to the left, United's ground, Salford Quays, and beyond that, Liverpool.
And the distance stretching to the horizon must be, what, getting on for 100 miles
yeah,
or so, do you think?
From one end to the other, it's probably a distance in excess of 100 miles. Obviously, we've got Coronation Street set.
And you can keep an eye on Corrie.
When I'm here, I'll be watching it live.
That's amazing. I'm just going to have a look at the other side, because I know that's the city.
That's the city side, yes. It's a great place to view the city. It's interesting seeing the sort of relationships of buildings and spaces, and you really have to look down on it to be able to do that. You can see beyond the city and the surrounding Pennines, which would look fantastic.
Get a good view of the race as well.
Absolutely,
right down Deansgate.
Yes, you will.
Start, finish line right here.
Yeah.
And any chance you'll be doing it yourself?
Next year, yes.
Next year, you've been roped in.
Well, a fantastic view. I know if you normally say I'm 500 yards from the nearest pub, it's not normally straight down, but what a place to watch the Great the Great Manchester Run this year and in future years as it continues to grow and develop. Old Trafford, still the great landmark of this course. The juniors get to run around the Manchester City Stadium yesterday, and the mums and dads around Manchester United's ground today.
This time last year, photographer Andrew Williams was working on the Great Manchester Run. Andrew had won a commission to photograph blind runner David Healy and followed his progress around the course. Listening to Dave describe just how important his guide dog Wixie was to his life, Andrew was inspired to take part and will be raising money for, guess what? Guide dogs. Think you're too old to do a 10k? Take a look at 89-year-old Marjorie Hawker Bond from the Spring Hill Hospice Harriers. The hospice in Rochdale costs £5,000 a day to run. Marjorie, recently made an MBE, does more than most to help raise those much-needed funds. Julie Crudden has a good excuse if her time today is a little slower than in previous years. The 40-year-old would normally aim for under an hour. Her target today, an hour and a half. The reason why? She's 8.5 months pregnant. The baby is due on June the 2nd. Julie, the midwife is standing by.
Most people, 8.5 months pregnant, they're at home with their feet up, being pampered by their husbands. What prompted you to do this?
I've been doing a bit of that as well. I've been eating quite a lot of chocolate and sweets as well, but to be fair, I've exercised all the way through the pregnancy, and I've done every Manchester Great run, and I really wanted to do this one. I didn't want to miss this one. This has been my 5th, so I didn't want to miss it.
And be honest, how much harder is it pregnant?
It's hard. It's hard and it's long, to be fair. It's usually I'm nearly finished by now. And I've been pushed about a bit, but my sister's been looking after me as well.
What's your name?
Caroline.
So you're the chaperone, aren't
Trying
you?
my best, yes. Keep jumping round her, protecting the baby.
And let's have a quick look at the picture on the back. There you go. That's who you're running with. Congratulations and good luck for the rest of the run.
Thank you.
See you later.
As ever, millions of pounds are being raised for good causes today. And earlier this week, Diane Oxbury met one competitor who's determined to raise as much money as she possibly can to help fight motor neurone disease.
Everyone taking part in the Great Manchester Run has a story, but I didn't expect to find a story 50 metres from the front door. Because the staff of the local coffee shop are all running this weekend.
Well, we've all got our fuel. Are you all ready to run this 10k? I hope so. I reckon it's been a bit hard, but...
And who are you running on behalf of? Which charity?
That's the Motor Neurone Disease Association.
Do you have a time in mind? How quick can you get round?
Just want to take it easy, get to the end.
I think the most important thing is just we all finish and raise the money and awareness for the cause.
Well, I'm sure you'll get round, but what are you going to wear?
These. Here you go.
Yay!
It's small.
Christine Bennett and her friends are running in memory of her sister, Helen Worthy, who died of motor neurone disease in 2005. Helen died just 2 months after the diagnosis. The symptoms are many and varied. What was it like for your sister once she was diagnosed?
She progressed very fast with this disease. It was 6 weeks.
It does let you know, though, that it is different for everybody. How they handle it, how they struggle through it, and what their prognosis is different, isn't it?
Yeah. There's many people who manage to embrace their lives whilst being diagnosed to maintain their mobility as much as they possibly can. Yeah.
So what were her symptoms?
It started with loss of mobility in simple daily things, moving around, but towards the end she could no longer get out of her chair okay and do anything for herself. But the most important thing to note is that whilst she couldn't do the things she wanted to do, her mind was completely intact.
How hard was it for you to see your big sister suffer like this? I imagine you ended up looking after your big sister.
It was horrible. I mean, she's always been there, you know, my big sister looking out for me. So it was a complete role reversal, and it's not something that you should ever have to go through.
You need support, you need advice, not just from medical professionals. Where do you get that help from?
We sought help from the Motor Neurone Disease Association because there's very few avenues you can take to get information. They're there, right there for the individual to provide support when needed.
And support is needed so much because the prognosis is so bleak, isn't it?
It's very bleak. There is no cure for MND currently. One day there will be. There needs to be much more research and much more awareness.
Do you know how far away we are from a cure, from any kind of medicine that helps?
I don't think it's too far away at all for a cure. Unfortunately, it's too late for us, but other people shouldn't have to go through what we went through.
So how do you think you're going to feel on Sunday running in memory of your sister?
It's going to be really emotional, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a really good day.
Well, we've done lots of chatting and not much action.
Karen's here, go on.
See you
I'll
later.
catch you in a moment. Now, Helen died of motor neurone disease aged just 35. Christine, her sister, knows, as there's currently no cure, raising money for research is vital to give those who are suffering and those who love them hope for the future. Wait for me, girls!
Well, just one of the many thousands of reasons why people decide to take part in the Great Manchester Run. If you've got a reason or you just want to be part of this wonderful event next year, then you can go on to the entry alert system at www.greatrun.org. Next year's event is on the 18th of May. And if you're an athletics fan and the season is just about to get underway, certainly here in the UK, we'll be up at Glasgow. You may have heard one or two of the athletes mention it live on BBC Two on Sunday the 3rd of June. That programme begins at 3 o'clock. Ticket information on 0870 402 8000. Another great day in Manchester though, Brendan.
Well, I think it was a really good day. It was very interesting to see Kelly Holmes run as fast as she did. Interesting to see this changing skyline of Manchester. I thought Amir Khan was wonderful, and an all-comers record was terrific.
Wayne Edwards will be raising money for the South Atlantic Medal Association, which helps Falklands veterans and the families of those servicemen who lost their lives. Wayne served in the Welsh Guards and went back to the Falklands 5 years ago to pay his respects. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the conflict.
Well, Wayne, over the years you've done an awful lot of personal fitness, probably in some hot conditions, so today must be quite well suited to a former soldier like yourself.
No, it's a bit warm today, I think. A bit warm. Knackered as well.
But you're raising money for a great cause. Just explain what it is you're doing.
Yeah, it's for the South Atlantic Medal Association to help veterans and their families to get over the conflict that people are still suffering from as well. And to help them basically to get over it and to make aware that there's help out there for people that are still suffering, really.
Fantastic cause. Is this your first 10k run or have you done a few?
No, this is the third one, no?
Oh, really?
And 2 London marathons as well.
Brilliant. So you're a past master at this sort of thing. How is the heat? Is that a problem?
No, well, probably later on it will be, but currently a bit warm, but it'll be all right.
Brilliant. Well, you've got money to raise, so well done and good luck for the rest of it.
Thank you much. Cheers. Bye. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Well, Vanessa, we saw your story earlier on. We know exactly why you're running for RNLI.
Yeah.
How do you feel now you're about to set off?
Very excited, actually. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the race. The crowds are fabulous. Yeah, I am really so looking forward to this race. Yes.
Ever done anything like this before?
I've done the Great North Run 6 times.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And is it an emotional occasion for you?
It is. When I put this T-shirt on this morning, because I've got my brother's name on the back, I did have a few tears for him this morning, yes. Yes, very emotional.
You're a brave lady coming all this way and running around on your own.
It was well worth it. You know, the more money we can raise for the RNLI, the better it will be. So it was well worth it. I would travel, doesn't matter how many miles, to run money for the RNLI.
Have a good day.
Lovely. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you.
Now here's Paul Harris, and this is a truly inspirational story among many today, because Paul, you had a heart transplant back in May 2006?
Yeah, 2006, yeah, May. Practically a year today. Virtually a year today.
And what a way to celebrate by running this.
Never saw this, mate. I didn't realise. So I'm absolutely delighted to be here. And Wythenshawe Hospital will be absolutely wonderful to me. And I owe my life to them.
So tell me, before the transplant, what were you able to manage in terms of movement of any kind?
Prior to the transplant, I was absolutely out of it for 7 months. I was in the hospital. Prior to that, I'd run over 100 marathons in my life. And I was as fit as a fiddle until 2 years ago, on the Christmas. Breathlessness, and then bad news. But I'm really pleased to be here today.
A new heart and a new lease of life.
Absolutely fantastic.
Well done.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Now, I thought that dogs were pack animals, but there seems to be hundreds of Dalmatians all split up around the course. How many of you are there?
Well, there are about 50 of us.
And you're all dressed up as spotty dogs, for what reason?
Just fancied it, really.
Well, your idea?
Yeah, well, we thought, you know, it's a fun day and it might be a good idea, even though it's really hot, to dress in insulated decorators outfits with spots on us.
Hands up anyone who thinks it was a good idea now. Oh good, you've all got your hands in the air. And you're raising money for?
Spinal Injuries Association. There's 40,000 people in the UK with a spinal cord injury, and today the people here dressed up as dogs are having a great time and raising funds for the charity, and that's wonderful.
Brilliant, so you'll get to look cool and raise money for charity?
Yeah.
All right, good luck with it all. Show us your tails everyone. See you later.
Well, Christine Bennett has crossed the finish line. You were running in memory of your sister. How's it been?
It was really good. I really enjoyed it, actually. It's great to pass the finish line, and I'm tired out, and so are these two, but it's been really good. Very warm, but good.
Was it great? It was really, really good. The crowds and everything just keep you going, and just knowing that we were doing it for Christine's sister as well, that just memory of that keeps you going.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And Pete, you fixed your T-shirt.
I did. The use of staples is a very ignored fashion department.
Are you proud of yourselves?
Yeah,
Very.
Yeah. I definitely want to do it again. It's just really good fun.
Very pleased that we've done it.
Leave it a week or so before you do
Yeah,
it again.
maybe.
Well done.
I'm going to go get a pint.
Now, you'd think that anybody who works with the Tortoise Trust might not be in much of a hurry to get around this course, but that's not the case for Deborah Glanville, a competitor who's turned her own life around in double quick time, thanks in part to taking up running.
I've suffered from depression probably since I was in my teenage years, which has come and gone, gradually got worse and worse, and I ended up unable to work. Couldn't cope with people, couldn't go out, couldn't do anything. And with the help of my partner Paul, gradually started to go out the house, began to walk, felt confident enough to start a yoga class, did that, got into a circuit training class, and now the next is running. I've been through drug treatment, I've been hospitalised as part of my depression. I think this is the best thing for me. It's a question of getting your bottom and picking it up off the chair to actually do something. If you can start doing it, then you start immediately to feel better. It definitely, it's endorphins running around your body, you just feel happier. And I think also because you're challenging yourself. To even walk to the end of the street is, if you've been sitting in the chair and not moving and crying for days and days and days, to get to the end of the street you suddenly feel like, yeah, I've done something, I've achieved something. Most days I feel happy. The worst I can ever say I feel now is content. If I can finish on Sunday in 70 minutes, I'll be very, very happy. And hopefully next year, if I run again, if I'm able to do that, to actually then run and be sponsored, and perhaps some of the causes that are dear to my heart. There's a lady who worked for the Tortoise Trust who died last year. Her name's Jill Martin, and the Tortoise Trust has set up a fund for her, so it would be nice perhaps to do that, which is to help for the conservation of tortoises and also to better educate people on the correct husbandry for them in this country. When we took in the four that we took in, they were in an awful state, and it has been a labour of love. They were seized in 2003 by Customs at Heathrow Airport on a flight from the Lebanon. They're still going strong and happy. The house has become theirs. It's not ours. I mean, it's still a home, but it's not ours now. It's a tortoise sanctuary. The tortoise and the hare is actually what our postman calls myself and my partner Paul, because Paul's hoping to run his run on Sunday inside 40 minutes. He will definitely be the hare, but maybe one day I'll win the race. Keep going until I do.
Well, yet another inspirational story among many. Lucy Broughton, congratulations on finishing the race. Tell me the significance of today.
Well, today is the actual 5-year anniversary of me being diagnosed with quite an aggressive form of breast cancer. So we thought about having a quiet family meal, and then I thought, well, this is the same day, the race, and I've raised quite a lot of money for Breakthrough Breast Cancer through Holy Souls Church at Brownhill, and also the bank that I work for, MBNA in Chester. So thank you to everybody who's helped raise money to try and find a cure for this awful disease.
And you've got your friend Karen along for support today, and many thousands more en route.
It's amazing, been absolutely amazing. I couldn't have run it without Karen. She's dragged me along. I'd never have got round, so thank you very much to Karen.
It's been a great day. I've really enjoyed it, and it's such a milestone for Lucy. Fantastic.
Well done, a great achievement.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, a record field, a UK all-comers record in the men's race, and a British winner, Joe Pavey, in the women's. If yesterday was a disappointment for Mancunians, well, the red half anyway, today has been a great one for the whole city. From us all here, bye-bye.